Moving to the upcoming elections in Russia, Yulia Navalnaya called on the European Union not to recognize their results in March, and that was the case in 2020 with Alexander Lukashenko. European Parliament hasn't recognized him as the president of Belarus. Is that a possible reaction to the supposed victory of Vladimir Putin, given the death of Alexei Navalny and also the organization of vote in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine?
Well, first of all, the death of Alexei Navalny is horrific. It gives you the clearest of impression, as we've known, that no opposition will be tolerated, and even the reaction we have seen since his death, the outrage and the clampdown by Russian authorities on anyone expressing that outrage, is a symbol to us of the situation that Russia is in at the moment, which is absolutely the case of how we would never recognize the result of the upcoming Russian elections. 2024 is a jumbo electoral year when we look at elections taking place in multiple countries across the world, multiple democratic exercise, what is happening in Russia and what is claimed to be in the occupied territories of Ukraine is definitely not democratic.
Russia has labeled Radio Free Europe as a so-called undesirable organization, exposing its journalists and also those interviewed by the organization, by media organization, to criminal charges. What kind of implications could we expect in terms of the access to free and independent journalism in Russia?
Well, media freedom and protection of journalists is a cornerstone of everything we do in this European Parliament. No democracy would exist without free media, and that's why this European Parliament is a home for all journalists who feel threatened, for any media outlets, as we adopted yesterday the anti-SLAPP directive in the European Parliament and will soon adopt the Media Freedom Act in this European Parliament, both legislative cornerstones pushed and been pivotal for the European Parliament in this legislature. When we saw what Russia has done, when we called Russia a state sponsor of terrorism, when we see that Evan Gershkovich and Ms. Kulmasheva are still in detention, that is the strongest of signals for us to say that we stand for the complete opposite. And journalists can always feel protected by us, and we will do everything in order to push the narrative and the fundamental point that journalism is not a crime.